Welcome to the Scarborough Athletic official podcast. On our podcast, we'll be having deep conversations with players, coaches, staff and volunteers of Scarborough Athletic Football Club. We'll be discussing everything from their current season to their past successes and even taking questions from the fans. So join us each week for a dose of insight and entertainment from the world of Scarborough Athletic Football Club. Up the Boro! Hello Sea Dogs and welcome to a very special edition of the Scarborough Athletic official podcast. We've got an FA Cup special. It's the day of our massive replay against Forest Green, arguably the biggest game in the club's history. So I'm joined ahead of the game with club vice captain Mr. Will Thornton. Will, thanks for coming on today, short notice.
Anytime, Chris, anytime. Always good for the fans to have something to listen to on the way down. You know, it's a long journey and we appreciate it, so if it makes it a little bit less longer than what it already is, then more than happy to help.
Yeah, hopefully it will make the journey feel quicker and not longer, so it should
fingers crossed anyway.
Should be alright, shouldn't it? So yeah, Will, obviously, we've travelled down ahead of the game. What's the benefits of getting the lads together?
It's just, I think some people get it if you've been in team environments and stuff yourself. It's absolutely massive because there's no stress. You're not rushing around on the day of the game. But not just that, but we're all together another day before the game, so everyone's kind of in the same headspace. We've got such a good group here anyway. I've never been involved in a group like it, but so many lads to get work off at such short notice. Obviously it means a lot to everyone and it's huge for us, so even splitting the travelling up between yesterday when we travelled and today, it does make a massive difference.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget that we're not a full-time team, we're a part-time team. We've got the lads are sort of scattered all over the north of England,
yeah.
So it is very rare that you actually all get together and have a little bit of downtime, because it's normally training matches. Training matches. So.
Yeah, especially lately it's been relentless. And we've got another few weeks of it now. It's just Saturday, Tuesday, training Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. You don't really get time to switch off and actually talk to each other about what's sort of going on in your own life, which is nice as well, because like I say, we have got such a good group, and I've been at clubs before and places where lads probably wouldn't even want to travel down together on the day before a game, but it's completely different here and everyone's in it together, so yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, it's really good to see. So on the pitch, obviously, Colo's been coming back from quite a bad injury, and it's great to see him back on the pitch. But obviously, while that's been happening, you've sort of took the armband as vice captain.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel, and how does that change your approach really, on and off the pitch?
Yeah, obviously I'm massively proud to do it, and I understand that I am vice captain, and obviously Colo is captain, and no one will change that. What he's done for the club's unbelievable, and I'm glad he's coming back, and it's just been an honour to obviously have it whenever he's not starting or being involved. I just feel it's weird. I just feel so much more responsible as captain, and I think it does help. It just feels right to me, and I think it definitely has helped me improve on the pitch and off the pitch. Just really feel like sort of more of a leader, a bit more responsible on the pitch, making sure everyone else is doing what they're doing. But when you're captain, you've got to set a standard as well, and I think if you're not playing well, then it just sets the tone. So I feel even more important to make sure I'm doing what I should be doing, as well as obviously telling the other lads what their roles and stuff are and making sure their standards are set. It wouldn't feel right if I was doing the role I'm doing as vice captain and not performing myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, leadership by example.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Which is what Colo's so good at. You know, you see him. People don't see him when he's training and stuff, but the amount of time and effort he puts in, especially after his injury, he's always in the gym doing everything he can to get back, and he does set the tone with training standards and standards off the pitch. So yeah, I've definitely learnt a lot from him as well.
Good to see. I don't think you'd mind me saying, Will, that obviously this season you've hit a good spell of formed some good partnerships at the back with Qualtz and Bales, and well, I suppose and Keys and Brownie, as well as a defensive unit, looking really good back there. They got praised by the I God, who did we play on Saturday?
Alfred, it's been non-stop. I'm trying to think. I've still got Charlie and Maid.
Yeah, I had Charlie and Maid. They all just blur into one. But yeah, the Alpha man actually like praised our defensive unit. You know, and there's lots of plaudits coming from the fans. So like, what would you put that you know, like
I think
down to?
It's a tough one, really. I think, to be honest, I didn't really say this to anyone, but even after I came back from my ankle last year, I still didn't feel 100%. I don't know if it was more of a mental thing or not, but it was a worse injury than what people thought, and I did play through it for quite a few weeks, which made it even worse. But just feel like a bit of a break in the off-season, give it time to heal properly, like what it needed to do, and I've just sort of come back this year feeling fit. I've lost 5 or 6 pounds. Just feel like I can push off my left foot again, and obviously when you're jumping up for headers and running into channels and stuff, it's massive. It's more important than what people probably understand, but definitely as a unit, I think we look miles more solid lately. I know we conceded a couple of sloppy late goals still, obviously the one against Forest Green and a couple against Oxford, but like on Saturday I thought we looked solid. We dealt with first balls, second balls, crosses into our box, and obviously for someone like Billy Heath, Alfreton manager, to tell you that you've defended well, because that is what he prides his teams on. That's literally all they do. They just defend and then hope that other teams make mistakes. But we seem to have much more of a solid base now, and it does take time as well, don't get me wrong. We've brought Brownie in, Witz has obviously come back in, which is a bit different because we know what Witz is like and what his strengths and stuff are, but I just feel like we're definitely clicking now and gelling at the right time, which is obviously good.
Yeah, it stands as I mean, the performance and result on Saturday like sets us up like really nicely for obviously big game tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think their gaffer tonight is all but confirmed that Troy Deeney will be making a start.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for that? Obviously, veteran, experienced striker. I mean, is he the most experienced striker you'll come up against?
Yeah, in a proper competitive game, yeah. I mean, we've had some where we've played like behind closed doors friendlies and stuff, and pre-season friendlies, but they don't compare, because when you're playing FA Cup first round, it's a completely different level. So in that respect, yeah, it will be. I know a few fans and stuff who obviously have bigged it up, and he's an ex-Premier League striker, isn't he? He's obviously had a real good career, but just try not to think about it too much. You know, we get I know it's a different level, but come up against players every week that are big and strong and hold the ball up, and I think it's one of those things you don't want to overthink him too much to put us off what we want to try and do. Like, we've got to be confident that we've got enough to deal with what they've got, and even if that's Troy Deeney starting or not. So it'll be a good experience, and that's what we play for, but I don't want to solely focus on that, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, that's what it's an easy one, because I mean, yeah, he's had a good career, but he's a media personality as well, isn't it? So it's an easy name to focus on. But you know what, everyone's talking about him, takes a bit of the limelight away from us.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think we're under no pressure tonight, so I think they're under huge pressure, aren't they? Obviously, they've lost again on Saturday, and they've got injuries and other stuff. It's a free hit for us, really. They're 2 leagues above us, so we're just going to go there and do everything we can to make sure we'll be at Blackpool in the next round.
So what's the mood like in camp then ahead of today's game? Obviously, we're down here now where we've got probably 2/3 of the squad. The rest are going to be joining us this afternoon. What's the vibe like? Does it feel different to any other game, or?
No, that's what I mean. I know it's a huge game, but I think we're that confident in what we've got and the group we've got, and it doesn't really feel any different. We just all feel it's quite relaxed. Everyone's quite chilled out at the minute. Obviously, talk about it because it's a huge game and we know what it means to the club and the fans and everything else, but in respect of how we've prepared, it's been no different to any other. Some of the lads have obviously struggled to get time off work, which is understandable, because work does come first, and you can't just get days off that easy when you're in a certain profession. So those boys will come down today, which we did Oxford City on the day, so there's no reason why that's going to be any different for their preparations than it was when we went to Oxford. So yeah, it's all good, Chris. Yeah, good mood. Everyone's positive.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear. It's good to see as well. So it's all good. So looking at your own career, Will, what personal goals have you set for yourself, and what how does playing for Scarborough Athletic like?
Yeah, come into that. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think, well, always as a kid when you grow up, you want to be a professional footballer, don't you? And obviously as you get older, you understand exactly how hard it is to be that and the different levels that come under being a professional footballer. But in my head, that's still an aim of mine. Obviously, I've just turned 26, so I'd like to think I've still got a few years left. For me personally, playing League Two would be an absolute dream. Like that, obviously, that's. Some people might think it's far-fetched or not, but they're like 2 leagues off. We played Forest Green, they're League Two, and that's everyone's dream, I think. Obviously, to try and say that you wouldn't be thinking about that, then what's the point in playing? Do you know what I mean? If you want to play at the same level for the next few years, then is that really the best way to look at it? I'm not sure, but definitely think we've got enough at Scarborough to get promoted into the conference, and then I'm assuming the club would have to sit down and have a chat about if they wanted to stay part-time or full-time. But for me, at the minute, my only focus is on Scarborough, and that's got to be firstly winning tonight and then seeing where that takes us in terms of a cup run. Then we've got FA Trophy, which is huge, but first and foremost, we've got to do well in the league. So just really short-term goals personally. I don't like looking too far ahead. So win tonight, win Saturday, the boring cliche, but in general, yeah, we want to have a good season in the league, especially after how last year ended.
Yeah, 100%. We're having a chat last night, actually. We don't think any teams won the FA Trophy and the FA Cup in the same season, and we're still in both competitions.
Could you imagine? Could you actually imagine that? It would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Conference North, and they've won the trophy, and FA Cup being at Wembley twice.
It's a bit out there, but you have to dream.
You've got to, haven't you? Otherwise, there's no point playing. There's no point.
Yeah. So obviously, Will, like you touched on, like the club there, and obviously, speaking about potentially being in League Two.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of Scarborough fans will remember, like myself included, where we're in the old Division 3 as a professional club, and we're pushing for playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it was like 96, 97 season. So it's not too far out there when you think bigger picture. I think what's different this time round is obviously the club's now 100% fan owned.
Yeah. So
like, as players, how does that impact the relationship between players and fans?
Yeah, I think it's huge, and I think people, unless you know us as players, probably don't realise how much it does mean to us, because we understand we're fan owned. Obviously, all the fans are putting in their hard-earned money. Do you know what I mean? We all have jobs as well. We know what it's like to try and balance work and putting your money in and going to watch football, because it's not cheap. We know that, especially when they're travelling all around the country for us as well. It adds up. So I think it's just extra special for us. I think we feel a lot closer to the fans because we are fan-owned, and if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here. As simple as that. So every time we go out on the pitch, even like today, just staying over, travelling down, people are talking about how good it is, the away following that we get wherever we go, and it's just unbelievable, especially from a fan-owned club. It's the best club I've ever played for, fan-wise, and that nowhere else has even come close. So we are so grateful for it, and we do appreciate everything that the fans do.
Do you think it gives an extra few percent on the pitch?
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely without a doubt. You look at like games, like when we went to Curzon away the other week, and if it weren't for our fans, the atmosphere just would have been like a nothing game. Like there was barely anyone there, but even when we take away fans, it feels like a home game sometimes, and it definitely does help. It doesn't matter what anyone says, it does make a difference.
Yeah, it's very special, and obviously we've got our media team now is capturing a lot of moments. I think Chris Pilmer this morning shared a picture of him like hugging you at the end of the game.
Yeah, I like that picture. Yeah,
you don't get that at other clubs.
No, and that's what it's about. Obviously I know how much work Chris does. Making sure that Valley Bar Sea Dogs and away fans can get to games and stuff, and that we appreciate, because if they're not coming to games, it's not the same for us either. So it's only fair that we thank them, and obviously, like I say, without them it wouldn't be possible. So I love that picture, and I love the fact that non-league is like that, because it's a bit more down to earth, isn't it? And that's how it should be. Proper connection. Yeah,
it's definitely a lot more real and authentic. And obviously, shout out to Chris Pilmer. We've got two full coaches coming down tonight. Big thank you for Danny Smith at the Scholars Bar as well for obviously subsidising it.
That's incredible. I've seen that. That's a great gesture. Yeah, thank you.
So fans can come all the way down here for a tenner. So I mean, there's a definite feeling of you're all in it together, like, on the pitch, off the pitch, fans, staff, everything. So
really 100%.
Really good vibes at the minute. So what's been your most memorable moment so far then as a Scarborough Athletic player, Will? And how long have you been with us now?
This is my 4th season now. I know COVID cut one really short. But yeah, so 4th season, because I had two in the NPL. Obviously the second year was the one when we went up when John O came in after Darren Kelly left. And then this is our 2nd season in the National League North now. But it's hard to pick one. I'd say it's hard because we've had so many little moments that have been bigger than what people probably understand. Like I probably said this before, but I remember the year when we went up out of the NPL. Obviously, the playoff finals, the moment that everyone looks at. But Bamba Bridge away we played, and we'd been on a terrible run of form. I think we'd been beaten by Liversidge in the FA Trophy. People didn't want some of the players playing for the club. They wanted Jono out. They didn't think that we were doing what we should have been doing. And we went to Bamba Bridge and we had our Christmas do that night. And I just remember getting there. It probably should have been called off. The pitch was absolutely soaked. And something just clicked that day. And we were solid. We won 2-0. It was best performance of the year. And I think from that point on, from Bamba Bridge to the end of the season, we lost 2 games. One of them being away at South Shields, 1-0. Who were obviously top of the league, and we got beat at Nantwich away, and that was for the rest of the season. But Bamba just felt like a massive turning point for everyone. And from the outside, you probably wouldn't have seen it as such a big of a moment. But for us as a squad and management and staff, it was absolutely huge that day. And obviously we went and had a good Christmas do that night as well, because we were all buzzing that we'd finally won a game, which is a bit different to now because we seem to be doing it a lot more often. But that was a huge turning point that year, and obviously it led to, which I think I'd have to say, the playoff final, without a doubt, is probably the most memorable moment. I had my little boy there, my partner there. I think just the way the season went all the way up until that point, all the hard work that we'd put in came down to 90 minutes. And then to just get the job done, just complete relief. We knew how much it meant to everyone to get the club back to obviously where it was before it went bust. It's just a massive achievement, and definitely my biggest in my career, never mind just at Scarborough.
Yeah, I've actually got shivers up my back you describing that, because it was a special day. I mean, for me personally, Scarborough lad and all that, like, I always think it's like anyone involved at the club right now, it's an amazing time, and I encourage everybody to enjoy it whilst it's like this. Yeah. But then I always think bigger picture, and I think the town itself deserves a football club this size, and the town's actually buying into it and getting behind it more. So that, I think that chairman described it as well, that after the playoff final game was like, that was the day the town fell back in love with the football club, and I think it's just grown ever since. So,
it was a special day, wasn't it? When you look back now and you think about sell-out crowd, all the fans out around the town afterwards, everyone together, and you look at attendances as well, just in general, from obviously the year when we were struggling, when we did obviously go up the second half of the season, but the attendances that first half of the season compared to, especially now, it's just completely changed, and obviously, like I say, we must be doing something right. It must be, whether it's good to watch or we're just getting results, but the fans definitely are buying into it, and it's a huge difference now compared to what it was that first season.
It's absolutely everything, isn't it? I mean, I think when people do get through the door and watch Scarborough play, like, we do play some like really good football, like most of the time. Yeah. Obviously, it'd be impossible to say like.
Yeah, you can't do it every time, can you?
But it's generally very good, and even when we go one behind, you know what you always fancy is to score. Yeah. The lads give 110%. I think as a fan and follower of football, that's what you want to see. Yeah. You've got Premier League teams now where their heads drop after 1-0, and fans are paying literally thousands of pounds to go and see that, and it's not it's not good. But not only on the pitch, people are going to the Flamingo Land Stadium now, and it's a really, really nice ground. We're very lucky to have a ground, like a facility like that.
Yeah.
We're expanding it. We've got the fan zone, hospitality is getting up there. So I think the club as a whole package, on and off the pitch. That's why, I always say we're working as one. It feels like one unit.
Yeah, it's definitely going right, both on it and off it, and we're in a much better position now than we probably ever have been. So definitely doing something right, and the stuff that all you guys do as well off the pitch don't go unnoticed to players either. We appreciate it all, and it makes it more enjoyable for us. Like the Forest Green game the other week, me and Keys got to take our little ones out, and little things like that go a long way. They're memories that we won't forget, and without staff and volunteers it doesn't happen. So we all understand the work that everyone else puts in as well, not just the players who notably get the credit more often than not, when there's a lot of hard work gone in at the club by other people as well. Yeah, no, it's really special times, and if you're listening, honestly, enjoy these times. I remember when it wasn't so good. Yeah, well, that's what us as players as well. I think that's why it's so special, because a lot of the group we had now were here when we were struggling that year before we got promoted out of the NPL, and we've kept the same core group, and we understand how much better the times are now than what they were before. But we obviously stuck together through it, and I think that's why we've got such a close-knit group, because when times weren't going so well, we were all together, and we've managed to come through the other side, and now we're obviously where we are now. Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And Will, obviously, thanks for taking a bit of time out this morning. A couple of questions which, it's a bit of a surprise bonus episode this for the fans. So I haven't gone out to them to ask questions, but I know they always do like to ask a couple. Yeah. So first one being, what pre-match rituals and routines do you have? Yeah, see, I'm not a huge pre-match ritual. I used to be really bad, and I used to, especially after games and stuff, I used to always think about my own performance and stuff. I think since me and my partner had our little boy, you don't really get time to do that, if that makes sense. Even before a game, obviously, we travel, even at Scarborough, it's a couple of hours for me. So when I meet the other lads, it's quite early in the morning, so I don't really have time to sort of think about anything. And I think it does sort of help me in that way. The only thing I do on a game day is I'll have a coffee and a Red Bull at certain points in the morning. It's always the points when we meet, and literally other than that, there's nothing else superstitious that I do in the change room. I don't really have anything like that. I'm quite boring, really. I just sort of rock up and turn up and get on with it and hope for the best. And finally, obviously we've got a fantastic academy set up at the minute. Obviously headed up by Paul Exley. In the home tie, nearly all of the academy were there, looking on and watching on in all the Boro gear. I thought that was a special moment to see. What advice would you give it, aspiring young footballers who were there? You've become heroes now in that. You're all household names in Scarborough. Well, yeah, like you say, it probably doesn't hit us as much because we don't really see that side of it, and it is obviously that is absolutely massive for any club, to have an academy set up and just give young lads obviously a chance and hope of actually doing something that they want to do. And as a young player, especially coming through Scarborough Academy, you've just got to really, really enjoy it and embrace it, because there's obviously people who would love to be where you are, and with the facilities and stuff and everything at Scarborough, just honestly make the most of it, because your scholarship days only last a few years, and when you look back, they probably are the best time of your career, unless you are lucky that you go on to have a real good career. But I would honestly just give it everything now while you can and enjoy it. And if you're enjoying it, the chances are you're going to be playing your best football, and then you'll get your chance, and that's it. Just take it then. You've got to 100% believe in yourself as well, otherwise there's no point doing it. But just look back and don't have any regrets that you've done everything possible. And if it don't work, it don't work. At least you've done everything that you could have done. That's probably the biggest thing. Wise words there, Will. And take note of that if all you junior Sea Dogs listening. But look, Will, thanks again for joining us. No, thank you, Chris. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy tonight. Good luck and up the Boro. Cheers, mate. Come on, let's do it. Let's have it. Thank you for tuning in to the Scarborough Athletic official podcast. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about our fan-owned football club.
We want to thank all our listeners for helping raise the Scarborough Athletic profile, and we encourage you to like and subscribe to our podcast. Your support means the world to us and will keep the club growing and developing. Again, thank you for listening, and we hope you join us again soon. Until then, take care, goodbye, and up the butter!